and then they tell someone else on your behalf.
I think we're still talking.
The reason why we don't many times get as many referrals as we wish is because we've made it too hard for people to know what to say on our behalf. Or the things that we say sound the same as what everyone else says. Here's what I want you to think about. What you just told your partner. Could any of your competitors have just said the exact same thing that you said? Because if you said the same thing that anyone else could say, you haven't helped me choose. You just made me more confused. And I'm looking for the right choice for me. And we must give them things that are unique and important so that we choose your facility versus all the others. How to become the number one choice? We must be different from the competition in a way that the customers value. We know we got to be different, but we must do it in a way that they will vote for us with their dollars. And in your case, this is a massive, emotional, long-term decision that means lots and lots and lots. This is a bigger decision than buying a candy bar, than buying a car, probably maybe than buying a house, right? It's a massive, long-term, expensive decision. So we've got to stand out in a way that they're willing to vote for us. Because we know this, all things being equal, customers will choose, I put lowest price / highest pay if you're trying to influence a staff member to work for you. All things being equal, I'm going to choose the highest pay. Or I'm going to choose the lowest price, and it's our job to make sure that all else is not equal. You know that your facility is not the same, that your staff is not the same. It's your job to show me that value in a way that I'll vote for you, that you are not equal to everyone else. So how we choose. Choices happen in our brain, and because they happen in our brain, they're partly rational and partly emotional. For hundreds of years, economists have been trying to convince us that all decisions are rational. If you raise the price, demand goes down. It's just a fixed. But for 100 years, marketers have been trying to convince us that every decision we make is emotional. You ever seen a Super Bowl ad that made you laugh or made you cry? It made you emotional, and then you couldn't even remember what product it was for? The Nobel Prize winner for economics, the Nobel Prize winner of economists in 2002 was not an economist. He was a psychologist who wins the Nobel Prize in economics because he proved that, in fact, your brain, at even the subconscious level, is looking for rational reason to make an emotional decision. Both sides of your brain. Have you ever had buyer's remorse? That happens because you make an emotional decision and your gut is looking for proof that it was smart and you can't find any. It's why our bodies do what they do. And your ears and your brain can hear things that don't sound true, that don't sound trustworthy, that sound like marketing fluff. And when we're out there saying things that sound the same as everyone else, it sounds to our ear and to our gut untrustworthy. And like it sounds like everyone else. Your brain needs a rational reason to make an emotional decision. If we only play to the emotional side of those potential residents, it's going to feel like something's missing. And if we only play to the rational side, it's going to feel like something's missing. Our brain works on 3 levels. One is the price of entry, the expectations. Our facility is really safe. Yep, that's what I expect. Our facility has great caregivers. Yep, that's what I expect. What is the proof? What is the proof that we're going to give you better quality? We're going to give you great quality care because our brain needs proof to make it get to the emotional connection. We start at the base, we want some proof, and then and only then do we have an emotional connection. Many times the mistake that we make is we want to skip right to the emotional connection. We care more about our residents. But if everyone says we care more, I don't believe you, you must show me proof of what you do so that I then make the emotional connection. We can't skip to the top of the pyramid. Those organizations that have clarity all the way from the top all the way down to those residents, clarity about what makes that facility special versus all the other ones, Those are the organizations that do well over time. There are 4 questions that make up the framework of influence that get people to say yes to you, whether it's a resident or a family or an employee. These 4 questions make up a framework of influence that get people to say yes to you. Now, the case studies in this framework are going to seem crazy. They have nothing to do with your industry. They have everything to do with you learning how to influence and applying it to what you do every day. The case studies are from companies that are tiny, tiny little businesses to multi-billion-dollar brands, and they'll demonstrate to you how to influence. It doesn't matter if you're influencing a family who's walked in your door, if you're influencing through a video on your website. It doesn't matter where you're influencing, this framework will help you be more influential, get more customers to say yes to you. Question number 1, who are your ideal customers? It's a case study about a little auto repair shop in Denver, Colorado called 6th Avenue Auto. This gentleman was a certified auto mechanic. He always wanted to be an entrepreneur, so he leased a 2-bay auto repair shop and opened it up, and it is called 6th Avenue Auto, and he specializes in 2 kinds of cars. Yep, imports and domestics. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Yep. Because he said, I want to serve the most kinds of customers because then I'll have the biggest, most successful business. He thought everyone within 3 miles around would just get their car fixed there because he existed. He opened up his doors, and what do you suppose happened? Crickets. Nobody walked in. So he started doing marketing. He started putting marketing out around where his target customers were. He put door hangers all out within 3 miles around that said, come into 6th Avenue Auto. Get a $20 oil change. People flooded into 6th Avenue Auto for a $20 oil change. Then what happened? Nobody came back. Darn marketing. Nobody came back. So he said, Gerry, do you know what I realized? I said, what did you realize? He's getting insights. He said, it seems like a lot of people in this neighborhood, they drive Audis and Volkswagens. It's like, oh, good. What'd you do? He said, well, I changed my website, this no joke was his website at the time, to say, we specialize in Audi and Volkswagen. We're your Audi and Volkswagen headquarters. I said, oh, what happened? I said, by the way, that sign out front is not an Audi or a Volkswagen. He's like, I know. The sign was like $2,000 and I was out of money, so I couldn't change the sign, so I just changed the website because it was free. So what happened? He said, well, people didn't come in from within 3 miles around. People started coming in from all over Denver. He said, you know why? Now he's got the insight, the mindset. I said, why? He goes, turns out there's a lot of people out there who don't want to pay to go to the dealership, but they do want to pay to go to someone who specializes in their kind of car. The more you become clear who is the perfect resident, who is the perfect employee for you, the more clear they will become that you are the perfect choice for them. Specificity matters. What is your ideal resident? Who do you really serve the best? The more we narrow our focus, the faster our business grows. The more we narrow our focus, the faster our referrals happen. Specificity drives results. I'll give you another really quick case study that hopefully you can appreciate. You ever walked into a party and you walk up to somebody and you say, what do you do? And they say, I'm a financial planner. What do you want to do? Run. Yeah, run. Run. I actually tell this story at financial planning conferences, and they all say the same thing. I want to run. Now, that's because the next thing they're going to do is try to sell you on them. They don't even know anything about you. And they're going to try, hey, we should get coffee. No, I'm fine. Now, I've worked with a lot of financial planners. There's other things that you can say at the beginning of a conversation that make people not want to run, but want to learn more. There's a financial planner that I've worked with in Denver, Colorado. He's at a party. He said, what do you do? He says, I'm a financial planner, but I only work for very specific kinds of clients. Now what do you want to know? What kind of clients? You went from running away to leaning in because he's got specificity. You don't even know what it is yet. In his case, and there's a lot of good answers to this question, in his case, he only works with self-made millionaires, a very small number of them, because they have a very unique transitional situation in their life, and he is adept at helping those people learn what's next. Kind of reminds me of a lot of you, right? And so now you're thinking either I am a self-made millionaire, or I know somebody who is one. Hey, my aunt just sold her company. She should probably talk to you. Specificity drives results. Who are the residents that you specifically love and serve? Who are you the most adept and the best for serving those kinds of residents? Question number 2, those ideal customers, those specific people that you're perfect to serve, what are the insights they have? Remember the Blockbuster Netflix case study? What do they want more of? What do they want less of? What do those residents want more of and less of? What do those families want more of or less of? What do your staff or your potential employees want more of and less of? Said another way, what do they hope for? And what do they fear? This is important because you work in a very emotional industry. What I'm hoping for Mom is this. What I fear if Dad comes to your facility is this. What am I hoping for? What am I fearing? Now pay attention to the bottom of the pyramid, or the bottom of the matrix. What we want less of, what we fear, what we want to avoid in life, brain science shows us, is about twice as motivating as what we want. What we want to avoid and what we fear for Mom and Dad is about twice as motivating as what we hope. We hope they're happy, they've got a great social life, they get great food, they get the right exercise, they've got a nice staff, but what we fear, now there's something that I wanted to have some proof around. I want to allay your fears. All of this makes up your insights. What is the problem they're really trying to solve? What is the problem in the mind of the daughter, or the parent, or the grandparent? What's the problem that your staff member wants to solve in their life? Yeah, maybe they want a job, but what do they really want? And many times the problem that the people are trying to solve is not exactly what you're selling. What you're selling is a facility and care. What they really want is for Mom to have great new friends. So what's the problem that we solve, and how do we prove that we solve it better than anyone else? This is a company called Angel Concrete. I was going through my slides last night, and I was laughing at myself. I said, I'm going to put up a slide of a concrete company, and they're going to say, what on earth does concrete have to do with assisted living? Wait for it. So Angel Concrete brought me into their executive team. We spent a whole day with the executive team going through the framework you're learning right now. And I had given them pre-work. I said, I want you to go out and learn insights about your customers, insights about concrete customers, because insights gives us power. CEO stands up, he said, Gerry, we did the work and we got 2 big insights about concrete customers. Number 1, concrete is very stressful. It's the foundation of everything. It's got to be poured just perfectly. All the trucks have to be there on time, and it's got to be perfect because everything gets built on top of the concrete. It's the most stressful day on the job site. I said, oh, that's good insight. I said, what's your second insight?
Hello.
He said, well, we talked to some of our customers and they told us something interesting. They said, well, we're kind of scared of your drivers. We all kind of laughed and we're like, yeah, our drivers are kind of scary. So here's what happened next. We brought all the drivers in. We gave them new shirts. We gave them name tags. We gave them cell phones. We gave them business cards with their cell phone numbers on the business cards. We said, you are the front lines of our company. You are our brand ambassadors. You are the front lines that talk to our customers and make them happy and stress-free every day. When you get to that job site from now on, you're going to step down out of that big, scary concrete truck. You're going to walk over. You're going to look in the eye of the person who's running that site. You're going to shake their hand and say your name. You're going to give them your business card and say, my name is Sally or Joe or Bill or Sue or whatever it is. And my job today, insight, is to make your day stress-free. Anything you need, you call me. That's my cell phone number. Now, what did that do to that concrete organization? It elevated the self-esteem of the most important people in that organization. It made them important. The superheroes of concrete. You, and especially your staff, are the superheroes that go to work every day in some of the most challenging environments there could be. And so they elevated the front lines. Now, in the hardest time ever to hire drivers. I mean, it's tough to hire drivers. If you're a driver of a concrete truck in Baton Rouge, and there's 6 concrete companies in Baton Rouge, which of them do you want to work for? You want to work for the one that says I'm important and gives me the tools and the training and elevates me to be the top of the organization. Insights Insights, even the smallest of insights about how do we deliver something unique to our customers, to our clients, to our residents, to their families. The smallest of insights can make the biggest difference in your organization. Insights power your business. Question number 3, what's your outcome? The outcome you deliver. I was talking to Veronica last night, and she was telling me this story. She's like, yeah, people were just amazed when mom or dad or whoever came to our facility, they lived and lived and lived. And it's because we gave them a level of care that allowed them to have a better life and live longer than any of the doctors ever expected. That's the kind of outcome that you deliver, the work that you do. Now, from a marketing perspective, the age-old marketing question is this: who wants to buy a drill bit? Yeah. Does anyone know the answer? Nobody wants to buy a drill bit. They want to buy what? The outcome of the drill bit. A hole. I showed this to a friend of mine, and she said, I don't get it. I don't want to buy a drill bit or a hole. I want to buy like my shelf on the wall with all my books on it. We want to buy the outcome. We want to buy safety for mom and dad, community, activities, physical fitness. We want to buy a great staff that makes them feel great and at home. Now, I'm about to show you a video. It's a movie trailer, and I want you to pay attention to what you see that you don't normally see in a movie trailer like this.
Katie, she thinks there's something in the house.
You believe me, right?
I think I'm going to have a very interesting time capturing whatever paranormal phenomena is occurring or is not occurring. Windows closed, doors locked, alarms on. Hearing a weird sound.
Something's here. I feel like breathing on me.
There's footsteps in, but there's no footsteps out.
What's the outcome of going to a scary movie? Getting scared, that's it, right? Yeah, you pay your $17 and you go and you get scared. Now, what did they show you in that movie trailer that you don't normally see in the movie trailer? Yeah, the audience being scared, getting the outcome that they're promising. Do you see what they did there? They gave you a rational reason to make the emotional decision. They gave you proof that if you come to this movie, you will be scared. A rational reason to make the emotional decision. Both sides of your brain were engaged. That became a huge blockbuster hit with almost no marketing budget because they proved that you were going to get what you wanted. They proved that you were going to get what you wanted. Your brain needs a rational reason to make the emotional decision. Your outcome that you promise is about them. It's about them. The outcome is quality care. The outcome is amazing staff. The outcome is we're going to, help with them staying engaged for the years of their life. The outcome is about them. Then, and only then, do you get to talk about yourself. Many times in business, we talk about ourselves first. And do you know what your clients, your residents care about more than you? Themselves. Mom and dad, they care about themselves. So first you talk about what's in it for them, then you talk about yourself. This is the number one thing that business owners take back and put to work in their businesses. It's called the power of because. In the early 1980s, there was a woman named Ellen Langer. Ellen was the first ever female tenured professor at Harvard. She's a sociologist. And she studied why people were influenced to say this, to say yes to this versus that. Now here's how she did her landmark study. There was a Xerox machine at the university. It always had a lineup of people waiting to use the Xerox machine. She would have a student walk up and try to cut in front of the line by saying different things to see which were the most influential. At first she had the student walk up and say this: may I use the Xerox machine? Excuse me, I have 5 pages, may I use the Xerox machine? That got 60% of the time. That's our benchmark. We're trying to be more influential than that. Next, she had the student walk up and insert the word because, a rational reason to make an emotional decision. May I use the Xerox machine because I'm in a rush? Got 93% of the time, 94% of the time. Now, you might be saying, well, yeah, but that's a really good reason because I'm in a rush. She said, okay, let's try something else. Walk up and say something just nonsensical, but give them that rational reason. May I use the Xerox machine because I need to make copies? Got 93% of the time. Now, why does that happen? We are bombarded with people trying to influence us all day, every day, and our brain is looking for that rational reason to make the emotional decision, the proof, the because. Now this is for a simple conversation. Our brains are programmed to look for the proof. In a more complicated conversation, which is what you're having, we still must give them the proof. Let me show you an example in real life. Papa John's Pizza. Does anyone know what their slogan is? What's the slogan for Papa John's? Better ingredients, better pizza. Now the outcome, remember question number 3, the outcome is better pizza. Now I really want you to hear this because your ears, your subconscious, your gut will hear whether I'm influencing you or not. I'm going to open up a pizza place. I'm Gerry, and I'm going to call it Gerry's Pizza. Now get ready for this. This is my marketing. See if you're convinced. All right, come on into Gerry's Pizza. Our pizza's better. Yeah, it sounds like marketing fluff, doesn't it? It sounds like everyone else would say it too. They didn't say they just had better pizza. They finished the sentence. We've got better pizza because we've got better ingredients. They gave you the proof, the rational reason to make the emotional decision. When I say, come on into Gerry's Pizza, we got better pizza. It sounds the same as when someone on their website says, we have better care. It sounds good when you write it, and it may even be true. But it doesn't convince me unless you finish the sentence. You give me your proof, your rational reason to make an emotional decision. They got sued by Pizza Hut way back when they were a tiny little startup company. Papa John's wins the lawsuit because they use fresh sliced tomatoes and filtered water. I'm not saying your because has to be that good. I'm saying you have to have one. Papa John's became a $3 billion a year pizza company on a simple outcome because, rational reason to make an emotional decision. This is something that I launched into the market when I was the brand manager of Coors Light. This is called the Coors Light Frost Brew Liner Can. Now this is not the one that turns blue. This one, look inside the can. It's got a blue liner right inside the can. Does anyone know what that can does? Keeps it colder, or, I don't know if you can read it, it says on the bottom, it says, it locks in refreshing frost brewed taste. Yeah. Some of you are like, wait a minute, isn't that just what a can does? Yeah, here's the secret about the frost brew liner can. Every aluminum can ever made has had a liner inside of it. You can't put beer next to aluminum or it will corrode. We turned every can is a clear liner sprayed inside. We turned ours blue and told you it existed. And in fairness, we gave it a fancy name. We called it the Frost Brew Liner Can. We told you it locks in refreshing frost brew taste. And here's what happened. A flat, commoditized light beer industry. Nobody could gain any share. We turned the liner blue. And Coors Light can sales went up by 5% the first year. Because we turned the liner blue. Now, what I'm not saying is you should be misleading to your customers, to your families, to your residents, but what I am saying is over and over, the organizations that I work with already have things that you are doing that make you amazing, that make your beer fresher, that make your residents happier, that makes you stand out in the market, and many times it's our best kept secret. That proof has to be front and center in everything you do, and you have to be aligned all the way through your organization on what's our because, what's our blue liner, what's the thing that we're so proud of. Said another way, how do you do what you do so well? Because my brain is looking for some proof. I know you say it's going to be great, amazing quality care with community. How do you prove it to me? How do you show me that it's going to be true so I trust you? Your because makes what you say more believable. I believe and I trust that it's going to be true, and it makes it more repeatable. This is how we drive word of mouth. The last time you gave a referral, here's what you said. Oh, you got to go down to Gerry's Pizza because. You literally say the word because, and then you fill in the most compelling words you can think of to convince your friend to go down to Gerry's Pizza. What do you wish your families would say after they say the word because? Oh, you've got to come down to this facility because, to this community because. What do you wish folks would say after they say the word because? It makes it repeatable. Your because is about you. This is important. Your because is about you. The outcome is about them. The because is about you. You can't just say, oh, because we care more. It doesn't work. It's still marketing fluff. We care more about residents, therefore what do you do that demonstrates, that proves that you give a different level of service in your community than somewhere else? I'm going to wrap this up by showing you how to put it to work in your business. I'm going to show you how we made an incremental $250 million a year in the Coors Light business. Not that you're going to do yours this way, but this same four-part process can be applied to any business, to any community, to influence anyone. Now, first, all light beer is basically the same. You ever feel like that? There's a lot of other communities that look a little bit similar to yours. All light beer is the same. Guys will tell you, no, I'm a Miller Lite guy, I'm a Bud Light guy. But when it comes down to it, they can't pick their beer out of the lineup. The ideal customer, question number one, the ideal customer for light beer is 21 to 24-year-old men. Now let me convince you, men in the United States drink 75% of all the beer. So women are a good target, men are just a lot larger target. 21 to 24-year-old men drink 8 times more light beer than all other men. So they're a huge consumer group. You wonder how. It's because they drink beer on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, then there's Monday Night Football. I mean, there's a high volume user. So I'm going to show you an ad that was running on the Coors Light brand before I worked on the brand. And I want you to think about whether this ad sells beer. Sold beer? No. Let me ask you another question. Could you insert any other beer in that ad and run the same ad? Yes. That ad cost $500,000 just to make the ad, not counting what it cost to put it on TV, and sales were flat. Do you know what your marketing people are going to say if they spend a lot of money on marketing and sales are flat? Just imagine what would have happened if we didn't spend all that money. They're going to try to justify their jobs. No, your job of marketing is to grow your business, to attract new residents. If you can insert any other beer in your ad, if you can insert any other community into your website, into your video, if you're saying the same thing that everyone else is saying, you haven't helped me choose you. You've just made me more confused. So we made an ad that looked like you could insert anyone else in and sales were flat. So that's a lesson for all of us, regardless. Now, you might not be making a TV ad, but should you be making a video? The question isn't whether you should use video or not. The question is, what should you say in the video that you're going to make to convince me there's something different about your community than some other community out there? What's unique about you? Because our brain is looking for those rational proof points to make me believe that you're going to deliver what you say you're going to deliver. Now we go to question number 2, insights. We asked 2,000 21 to 24-year-old men, what do you want from light beer? And these are the things they told us: good taste, value, relaxation, low carbs, low calories, socialization, refreshment, cold beer. Yeah, thanks guys, helpful. And funny ads. Now, we went through and looked at our competition, and we said, well, Miller Lite was doing great taste, less filling, lower carbs, lower calories. Bud Light is all about socialization and the funny ads with the dogs and the frogs and the horses. What about relaxation? Any beer known for relaxation? Yeah, you don't want to compete with Corona on relaxation, right? So you're left with value, refreshment, and cold beer. We had a year-long debate on the Coors Light brand team as to whether anyone would ever believe that our beer is colder. Colder than what? Colder than the other beer in the same refrigerator? Who would believe that? But we knew who our ideal customers were. We knew the insights. We knew the outcome they wanted was cold beer. But you see what we're missing? Our because, our rational reason to make the emotional decision, our proof. Why would anyone ever believe it? Here's what came next. The Coors Light Frost Brew Liner can, you've already seen the cooler box. It's an 18-pack of plastic bottles with essentially a blue garbage bag in it so you can put ice in the box. Work with me, they're 21 years old. Ice in the box. They're like, ooh. Then we came out with super cold draft. Coors Light does not freeze at 32 degrees. It freezes at 27.4 because it's got alcohol in it. So we created a draft system that would pour Coors Light at 29 degrees, beer poured below freezing. The cold activated bottle, this is the one that turns blue when it's cold enough to drink. Now notice it doesn't change anything about your beer, about your product. It changes the amount of information you have about your product. How important is it that daughter, son, whoever it is, has more information about how's mom doing today and feeling today? That level of communication, right? Cold activated can. It took the engineers on the can line 2 years to figure out how to print thermochromatic ink on the can without it smudging. When the marketing team originally went to them and said, we want to turn the liner inside the can blue, they said, we hate marketing. You realize the liner is inside the can and nobody can see it, right? We're like, yeah, but it's a big idea. They thought we were nuts. When sales went up by $100 million and everyone hit their bonus that year, they said, hey, what else you got? By the time we got to the end, the entire organization was aligned around our because. We are going to have the coldest, most refreshing beer in the world. And they said, we don't know how to print the ink on the can on the outside, but we will figure it out. If you get clear on your because, on the thing that you want to do differently in your community versus every other community out there, what's that thing that you do differently or better or special or uniquely that proves that you deliver the outcome I want? And does everyone in your organization know what that thing is? Are they aligned around it? Will they spend 2 years figuring out how to deliver that thing that you're promising out there? Look at what we did. Because it's got a blue liner in the can, because you can put ice in the box, because it's poured below freezing, because it tells you when it's cold enough to drink. What are your becauses? What are the proof points that you have to show me that mom or dad is going to be in an amazing community with great activities and have an amazing food service experience? Or if you're large versus if you're small. Either one of those can be the perfect thing for mom. I really want my mom to be in a place that only has 30 people or residents or 5 residents because I want it to be special for her. Or no, she's a big foodie, so we got to be somewhere that has got an all-day buffet every day of international foods. Which are the insights that are important to the person you are talking about, and what's your proof? What's your because? This is the ad that comes out of that.
Is it really necessary to brew Coors Light down as low as 34 degrees? Does it really matter if every beer is filtered cold, aged cold, and packaged cold? Do the mountains really need to turn blue when your beer's as cold as the Rockies? Is Rocky Mountain cold refreshment really that important? You be the judge. Frost Brew Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
That is only true for Coors Light, because only Coors Light is brewed as low as 34 degrees. It's packaged cold, aged cold, shipped cold. You can't put any other beer in that ad, because it's only true for Coors Light. And what happened was Coors Light became the #2 selling beer in the country because things change, right? Big mainstream brands have been declining while craft beers have been growing. Your industry is changing. There's different kinds of communities and buildings coming online. There's different kinds of things that are happening. So how do you navigate those changes? Coors Light was the only brand that grew when everything else was failing except craft beer. What consumers, residents want today is different than what they wanted yesterday. Now, something remarkable happened during the Super Bowl. You guys ever watch Super Bowl ads? We all love to watch Super Bowl ads. Bud Light put something in one of their Super Bowl ads this year that has never been seen before. They put a because in their ad. I want you to listen for the because.
And that's how you brew.
My king, this corn syrup was just delivered.
That's not ours. We don't brew Bud Light with corn syrup.
Miller Lite uses corn syrup.
Let us take it to them at once. did happen, we was at first, right?
We received your corn syrup by mistake.
That's not our corn syrup. We received our shipment this morning.
You're joking.
Try the Coors Light capsule. They also use corn syrup.
Can you smoke outside?
Oh, brewers of Coors Light, is this corn syrup yours?
Well, well, well. Looks like the corn syrup has come home to be brewed. To be clear, we brew Coors Light with corn syrup.
Brewed with no corn syrup.
Now, remember what we talked about? The motivation of what people want to avoid. The woman sitting next to me, we were watching the Super Bowl, she said, I'm never drinking Coors Light again. And it is the power of the proof of something you want to avoid. And I determined something very important at that moment. I'm really glad I'm no longer the brand manager of Coors Light. Tough job. Now, what has happened since then is that the ad's been pulled off the air because it turns out there's no corn syrup in beer. It's used in the brewing process to feed the yeast. They buy your because. What does concrete and pizza and beer have to do with your influence? It's the same process. What's your because? What's your proof that I'm going to get the things that I want and avoid the things that I don't? If you want to get a copy of the PDF of the presentation, text to this phone number, 444-999, text the word because. I'll send you a text message back and you'll automatically get it sent to your email if you put your email address in. Here's my email if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. You guys were awesome. I appreciate it.
Whether it's snow, sand,
Okay. We're running a little bit behind, so I want to be able to get you back on track.